with last week us looking at a fan project. We're now going to jump back into the official show with Boast Busters. The episode starts out with Twilight and Spike working on some magic, which is something we don't see as much in the show later on, but it's good to see like Twilight working on her magic back in the day. It's really a nice thing, and there's some good little comedy in this scene as well. After the theme, we cut to Ponyville and Spike basically praising Twilight when all of a sudden two characters wind up running past named Snips and Snails, excited about a new unicorn in town. We are then introduced to Trixie, a obnoxious show-it-off character, and is just completely annoying at points, and everyone has met someone like this in their life. We then see a bunch of the characters complaining about how much of a show-off that she actually is, and it's quite obvious that the characters are highly annoyed, and she just keeps claiming that she is better than all of them, and it leads into a really weird joke.
Seems we have some naysayers in the audience.
It's funny because horses. Trixie then proceeds to call out everyone, saying, would anyone like to come prove themselves and show that I'm better, or see if you can prove that you're better? And Spike's like, please, just do it. This is so bad. But Twilight's like, nah, I ain't stooping to her level. But then Applejack basically goes, enough is enough. I'm going to show you what some impressive stuff is. And in my opinion, this is a lot more impressive than a lot of the stuff she was doing. And it's just entertaining to watch. It's very well animated as well. Then Trixie tries to show up Applejack, and this just looks like basic levitation. Like, is this really that impressive? Then Rainbow Dash decides, I'm going to show off to make you look bad. Which, once again, this is pretty darn impressive. And some nice bit of animation with the rain and the flapping of her tail, and it's really nicely animated. But then Trixie just so has to show her up once again. And I gotta say, this is actually a little more impressive than what she did against Applejack. I can't really say what would be, I don't know, this feels like she's just bullying at this point though. She's still kind of a jerk. Then Rarity decides enough is enough. It is my turn to put this pony in her place. And hers is a little different than the other pony's way of showing off. She says there's more to being aggressive and all that. She's like more to look beautiful. And Trixie decides, I'm gonna mess with your beauty, and changes her mane to look bad. How exactly is this showing off impressive power? Like, I don't get, like, yeah, you made her hair look gross, but how is that? I don't know. I legit don't know, but it does give us a good joke. We then see Snips and Snails continuing to kiss up to Trixie and just be major suck-ups. Snips and Snails wind up running back into Spike and just still over the moon about Trixie, and Spike's like, why? And it's like, because she vanquished an Ursa Major's like, do you have proof of this? And he's like, no, and Spike is literally just like, you're believing everything, and it just also shows how much of an idiot these two characters are, and like, it's just, you can tell who the smarter one of these two are, but clearly there's just a lot of, these are clearly your young, impressionable kids type characters who will believe anything they're told, which I know a lot of people that are like this, and definitely I know people like this when they were kids. And yes, I did forget to mention the Ursa Major earlier. This leads to Snips and Snails eventually going to the Everfree Forest to find an Ursa Major so Trixie can vanquish him, which is really just a dumb thing on these kids' part, but they do wind up finding one. But the problem is, the thing is asleep. They wake him up, and the bear's not too happy about being woken up. I do want to bring up the Ursa Major's design. It is a really nice design. It's super simplistic, but also has a lot of detail, and it's actually based on the actual constellation, which is also very cool. And yes, I know it's revealed as the Ursa Minor later, but I said Ursa Major just for the point of, I don't know. This then leads to Snips and Snails running back to Trixie and running into Spike beforehand, and Spike winds up going to do something. But then they run into Trixie and tell her, like, hey, we brought this thing for you here to slay it. We brought one here for you to like slay it like you said you could. But then it turns out Trixie actually can't slay it. She then attempts to slay the Ursa, but clearly can't. And that leads to just them freaking out, and Twilight winds up using her magic to make a baby bottle for the Ursa, which is interesting.
That wasn't an Ursa Major. It was a baby, an Ursa Minor.
That was just a baby?
That was an Ursa Minor? Then what's an Ursa Major like?
Oh, that was actually literally undeniably terrifying. Trixie winds up leaving Ponyville in a pit of, I don't know if I'd say rage. And Snips and Snails are punished along with Spike because mustaches. And we get our lesson of the episode, which is a pretty good lesson nonetheless. And that was a pretty darn good episode. I like to introduce of a new villain, some new creatures, a little bit of world building, not much. Some solid comedy here and there, some new characters that are fine. But I overall enjoyed this episode. It's got some great moments. A song from Trixie could have been nice. I wouldn't have minded a song from Trixie. That would have been kind of cool. But this episode, nonetheless, is very entertaining, and I enjoyed it most of the way through. There were some lackluster moments here and there, and some really nice animation for some of the moments, especially with the magic. That Applejack moment is probably my favorite animated part of animation in the episode. Like the Ursa Major and Ursa Minor's designs were really nice, and these are just really good episodes. It was a really good episode. I'm not sure if I'd say it's my favorite so far, because Griffin the Brush Off is definitely probably a more interesting episode. We haven't gotten a rarity episode yet. We've gotten like 2 Twilight episodes, or, well, I don't know how it's, well, I don't know. But it was really nice to take a look at this episode, and I cannot wait to get into the next episode, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye!